And now, to make our final closing remarks, the closing speech will be brought to you by Pascal Leardini, the Deputy Secretary General, Chief Operating Officer of the European Commission since May 2019. Pascal.
Thank you very much. And first of all, thank you to the Publications Office for having organized this great conference. And I've been able to watch now the concluding speech, and it was indeed very remarkable. I would like to pass my best regards to Hilde Aardeman, who will be the new Director General of the office as from the 1st of December. And I wish her well, and of course to push her to build on the office's great reputation on managing data, on the great work the office does in this area in the service of all the institutions and the EU citizens. I understand there have been very rich discussions since this morning on the usefulness of open data, on the visualization that will come tomorrow. So I'm very pleased to see this program, which has a very pragmatic and practical aspect. Is not only talking about open data, but it's open data for what they can serve and also how they can be visualized, which is ultimately the way we should go forward. So this is a very timely event, and I would like to thank the participants who are coming from 49 countries for bringing their international expertise and experience to the table. In my concluding remarks, I would like to make a few general considerations on open data, and then to give you a flavor of how the Commission is trying to put its policies into practice. First, a few general remarks, and of course, I need not to convince the audience of why open data are important. It's of course to do better policy making. In the Commission, we have a whole array of better regulation tools. It goes from public consultation, evaluation of existing policies, and preparation of new initiatives, all of them fully grounded in the use of data and, of course, open data. We are no different from any other public organization, is that we are confronted with the same issues about the source of the data, the quality of the data we are using, and the governance of these data. We are actually having a big struggle with a number of players and operators to make sure of the quality of the data we are using. And of course, this is very common to any public service in Europe and across the world. All of that needs to be geared toward developing good policies and better policies for, in our case, the European Union, but for any government and ultimately for the European citizens. If I take the example of today's college meeting, which is meeting in Strasbourg as we speak, they have adopted the autumn economic package, which is the European semester. And this year's European semester should guide the member states in the definition and conduct of their economic policies. And it's quite crucial that all this European semester, including the recommendations we make to the member states, are firmly grounded in data, in reliable, in quality data. That's, of course, essential for the quality of the policy choices we are making. In the Commission policies, there are a number of those which rely heavily on data. The last I've mentioned is the economic governance, but there are many others. The twin transition towards a more digital world and a green world is also, this twin transition, an absolute must based on data and on quality data. You've seen the debates which have gone in the latest COP26 in Glasgow, where indeed the underlying data who support policy choices were sometimes disputed. And I think this is a reminder that we have always to rely on good source quality data. Now, internally, the Commission is also trying to put into practice the policies we are developing for our member states. I have the pleasure of sharing an internal body called the IMSB, Information Management Steering Board, which looks at data, at knowledge and information sharing. We have a number of projects for our desk officers to make sure that all the data which are used to provide evidence are properly documented, they are properly filed and curated, and reusable. That's also an essential part of our work vis-à-vis colleagues, is that data which are used once for policy making, for internal use, are properly documented, stored, classified, so that that can be reused for any other purpose. We have the same approach as far as the use of money is concerned. We want to make sure that programs, of spending programs across Europe, being in the area of research, of structural funds, for example, they generate effects, positive effects on the ground. It's not just spending money, but it's also looking at results. And for that, we absolutely need to rely on information and data coming from the member states. We have put in place with the new generation of programs a very sort of robust data collection, analysis, and follow-up system, which is now enshrined and part of the spending program. Now, externally, we have also very ambitious objectives, and we have put forward a number of legislative proposals, one of them being the Digital Euro program, which want to help member states investing in a number of areas which are essential for the future, like supercomputing or artificial intelligence, as we have just seen one example. And the funds are earmarked also to set up a true European data space and to facilitate safe access to and storage of large data sets. You have heard my colleague Ivo Volman earlier this morning to talk about the data governance and the Data Act that we have put forward, which is also meant, in a nutshell, to put a governance framework at European level for the use of data, and in particular open data. As you can see, much is being done to improve the use and the reuse of data through exciting innovation projects or in the background of policy processes. And still, we are confronted with the same issues that I've mentioned about the sources, the reliability, the quality, the reusability, the storage, the classification of data. So I think we are all, for that purpose, on the same boat. Data has many stories and much wisdom to share, and this is intended to be the philosophy also of the EU data portal. I'm sure that all the participants to today's conference are well aware of the EU data portal, which is an impressive repository of open data sets managed by very well by the Publication Office. And I would like to commend this as a source for future work for all the colleagues working on data. I think, in concluding, I would like to say that the EU open data offer many examples of the possibilities of using data. I'm looking forward for the second day of this conference, and in particular the third day, because I know that that's the datathon, which can really produce very pragmatic, immediate, tangible results of using open data. I invite everyone, if possible, to join these 2 other days of the conference, and I would like to thank the Office of Publication for bringing so well all these dimensions together. Many thanks.
Thank you so much, Pascal, for those closing remarks. It's a pleasure to have your presence with us before you dash off to another event. Sometimes I do wonder about the stamina everybody needs, and we've seen some of the people at the top of their game today. And so wonderful presentations, fantastic conversations online. I hope you can continue to enjoy them now, because we have 30 more minutes of networking available to you. Hopefully you've all managed to work out a swap card by now. You can contact people directly, send them messages, arrange meetings, check out other people's stands and companies. And of course, ask the most pertinent questions you have directly to the speakers themselves. So that concludes the first day of the EU DataViz 21 event, all under the umbrella of the first EU Open Data Days. And of course, as Pascal just said, we've got the EU Datathon on Thursday morning, not afternoon. But it will be my pleasure once more to join you tomorrow afternoon from about 1:30 onwards. We will be live for the second half of EU DataViz 21. Meanwhile, enjoy networking, and I'll see you tomorrow.